Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sima and today is my birthday. Not today that you guys are going to be seeing this video, you guys are getting this video on the 27th, but today, the 23rd, is when I'm filming this video, and that's my 26th birthday. I am 26 years old, and as the title probably gave it away, I am currently listening to 26 by Paramore, and I have been doing that for a good chunk of today. This is something I kind of in my head wanted to do for my 26th birthday. I like always had it in mind, and I figured I would turn it into a video, at least a chunk of it. I've been doing this for several hours. The way this is gonna work, obviously you guys can't hear the music, mostly because if I put the actual Paramore audio, this video will get like copyright claimed, and I just didn't want to have to deal with that hassle. I like tested it a couple ways, it would definitely get copyright claimed. So instead what I'm doing is I'm just listening in my ear, and I'm going to be putting an instrumental version of this. It sounds pretty spot on for the original. That's by Warm Fuzz Instrumentals here on YouTube. I'll link their instrumental down below. They allow people to use their instrumentals in their videos because they're gracious, wonderful people. So I'm just gonna put that as the background audio for this. And that way you guys will kind of get a sense of what I'm feeling. And if you wanted to sing along to the song, if you know the words, you can do that too while I'm talking. So 26 is probably not a milestone birthday for most people. So trigger warning, I will probably be talking about suicide a little bit in this video and depression and stuff like that. So if it's a little heavy and you need to skip this one, that's totally cool with me. No hard feelings. But yeah, 26, and sorry if I cry. I'm really gonna try not to, but I might cry. We're gonna try not to though. Like I really am gonna make it concentrate. I know like every YouTuber is like, I'm not gonna cry in this video. I'm gonna try not to cry, but it's possible I will, and if I do, I probably won't edit it out just because, I don't know, it's real, you know? Also, I have glitter on my face because I'm trying to do the glitter thing that Hayley does, you know, when she was touring for this album and in a lot of videos and stuff. I thought it looked cool. And it's my birthday, so like what better occasion to put glitter on your face, right? So this video is not gonna be all depressing. I am also going to be opening a present, and there's gonna be footage of me eating cake. So, you know, not all bad. We're gonna have fun here too. I'm gonna do my best to sync up the music to like what I'm listening to, but like no guarantees. I'm sorry if it's not great. There's a lot of ways I wanted to do this video. The easiest way would have literally just been to like play the song in the background, like on low volume while I talk, but that's not gonna happen. But I am gonna be talking about the song, and the song, like I said, the instrumental's gonna be playing. So 26 is a milestone birthday for me. It is not for most people, but for my whole life pretty much, I've been really, as we all know, based on my Unis Honest video that I made a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago even, I have always been very afraid of dying. And consequently, I've always been very afraid of aging. And for some reason in my head, the whole, like ever since my brother was pretty much born, so like I'm 8 years older than my brother, so pretty much since I was 8 or 9 years old, but really like solidly when I was like in my teens and like, conceptualized this as like a 13, 14-year-old, I had this thing in my head where I was like, when my brother turns 18, so when my brother becomes an adult, the next birthday after that for me, because my brother and my birthdays are like pretty close together, like a month apart. So I was like, okay, when my brother turns 18, when he becomes an adult, my next birthday is gonna be my 26th. And for some reason, I just always had that in my head though. When my brother becomes an adult, I'm gonna be 26, and then I had also consequently in my head that being 26 was like ancient, like you're a hag basically, which is like crazy, and we're gonna delve into like all of that baggage. But like I made this pact with myself, like it was just like an internal promise that I made to myself that I was like, I'm going to, and this is gonna sound counterintuitive to my fear of death, and we'll delve into that too, but I made a promise to myself that I would kill myself before I turned 26 years old. I do know why. It's because in my head I had this weird thing where like 20 to like even 25 felt iffy, but like 20 to 24 was like the peak age that you would ever be, you know? And I feel like part of it is just because like society tells you that, right? Like so much of it, especially for women, is like you peak in your 20s. You are the best in shape you'll ever be. You're the hottest you'll ever be. You are like the fittest you'll ever be. Like it's all this stuff that like you're constantly told that like, you know, you hit your 20s and then as soon as you're past 25, it's like, it's all downhill from there. And compounding that with my like fear of aging and my fear of death, it was like, well, at least if I do it myself, I feel like it was almost a thing of like wanting to control the narrative, where I was like, well, if I die because I wills it, it's like I know what's coming and I can like do all the stuff I want to do before that moment, and then I can die and I can make an impression in people's minds, you know, like I'll be forever like immortalized as this like perfect 24-year-old, which is like absurd, like literally fucking absurd. Don't ever think that. It's, first of all, it's not what suicide does. It doesn't immortalize you. It just is fucking shitty for everyone around you. Like don't, like seriously, like I told my therapist about this. I was like, listen, I'm just telling you this because I want you to know that this is like a thing I associate with my 26th birthday, but I want you to know that I in no way am in a headspace where I want to do that, to make it really clear. But like it is something that like for years and years and years, it was never like an active thing, but it was always in the back of my head. It was always like, okay, 26, that's the one. That's like when you officially hit like hag status, and you can't do that. Like you gotta die before that. And I don't know why I associate, I was just like, yeah, look, my brother's an adult, I'm gonna be old. Which is, it's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like it really doesn't. But anyways, so 26 is a big birthday for that reason. It's just like in my head, I've always been like, okay, 26, like 26, you gotta get out of here before you make it to 26. And here I am. I didn't do any of those things. I'm here, I'm 26 years old. I'm glad I didn't do any of that stuff because I feel like I have so much more to offer, and I feel like every day I do become like a better version of myself, but it's also like so fucking freaky. Like something about growing up is like, I don't know, birthdays are weird for me because it's like, I love birthdays because it's like the one day you can like demand attention for yourself, right? And like, unless you're like really terrible at it, you pretty much are entitled. Like no one's gonna think you're like being unreasonable for wanting attention on your birthday. On the flip side, it's like a reminder that you are aging. And like for me, because I get so hung up on like how much time I have left, it freaks me out. Hope if you got it, don't let it go for nobody. Always say the dream and it's free. I wouldn't care what it cost me. Reality will break your heart. Survival will not be the hardest part. It's keeping all your hopes alive when all the rest of you has died. So let it break your heart. So anyways, 26 by Paramore. This song came out, I believe, After Laughter came out in 2018, I think, I believe. Anyways, the thing with 26 by Paramore is it came out on their 2018 album, After Laughter. And that whole album deals with a lot of themes of like, you know, a lot of boppy songs, you know, upbeat tempos with really depressing lyrics that kind of just like explore like, you know, like what it's like to be depressed. And 26 is kind of the opposite in that like, it's very blatant in the sense, it's not like not that I'm saying the other songs hide behind their upbeat tempos, but it's like, while the other songs you're dancing while you're crying, this one you're just kind of rocking and crying, you know? And it's because it's called 26, and presumably because I guess that was the age Hayley was when she wrote it, or was feeling these things, or was feeling them particularly strongly, I don't know, or maybe that was just like a significant year for her. But it's a song that's about her depression, and she kind of like personalizes her depression as like a separate entity to herself. And I don't know, it just like really resonates with me. Like if I listen to the song for too long, I will start crying, because it's like, I don't know, it really captures this just feeling of like having something tugging you down, and really just like having to do what you have to do to pull yourself out of it. But it also is like a really interesting like reckoning of like what it is to be in your 20s and your I guess 26 is your late 20s officially, to be in your late 20s and really grappling with that. I don't know, it's just like, it's really hard to be in your 20s, and I feel like the longer I'm in them, the more I realize it's like, it fucking sucks, man. It's not this fun best decade of your life that I feel like, again, media makes it out to be. It's like, it's really, really hard to be in your 20s. And I feel like in a lot of ways, it's like, and I know I have friends who are gonna yell at me for this because they don't agree, but in a lot of ways it is harder for me than it was being a teenager. Because it's like, yeah, as a teenager, you don't have like any control over like most aspects of your life. But I also feel like there's this weird naivety of being a teen where you're like, okay, once I hit 18, things will get better. And I don't want this to be like a message of like things don't get better, because they do, but I also feel like reality smacks you in the face really hard. And that's why this song has a line that says, reality will break your heart. Survival's not the hardest part. It's keeping your hopes alive after the rest of you has died. And it's like, yeah, that's, at least for me, that's being in your 20s is like a lot of things you thought were gonna happen shattering, and just kind of like having to yank yourself back down to earth and being like, okay, you gotta be realistic, you know? You can't just dream and be a kid anymore, and like life is really fucking hard. Also, I'm sorry if like if I'm singing bits and they're not synced to the parts of the audio. Like I'm really gonna try, but I'm also not good at this stuff, so it might end up terribly, so like sorry. Also, my hair always blends into the back of my chair because my chair is black, so I just put this blanket over it, at least for videos. So hopefully like that just makes my hair stand out a little bit. Hold on to hope if you got it. Don't let it go for nobody. Little to hope if you got it. So okay, here's my thing. My thing is that the passage of time is like a fucking nightmare. I don't know, the way my brain operates, it's like I really struggle to like be in the present, so I'm always flashing backwards and forwards. So I'm always like fixating on like stuff I didn't do in the past that I'm like, I can't do anymore, you know? Like you just like you can't like do over high school, for example. You can't, you know, go back in time and wish you had joined more clubs, or like picked up more skills, or been more social. You can't, I don't know, you can't go back and wish you had become better friends with a person, or taken a class that you think would have helped you that you didn't take. or gone to a different school if you had an option. You know, like there are a lot of choices that you make and you can't go back and unmake them. And so I think about that stuff a lot. But then I also think about the future. So like right now, me turning 26, my brain can't just be like, oh, here, you're 26. My brain goes, you are 26, which is so close to 30, which is like so close to 50, which is like when you're 50, you're closer to death than you are to, you know, being born. So you're staring down the barrel of a gun. You can see the end, because that's assuming most people don't live to be 100, right? And so in my head, I'm like, okay, so like 26 is almost 30. 30 is about like, let's say 1/3 of the way to 90. And like, if you make it to 90, like lucky you. But most, again, I don't think everybody does. The life expectancy in Canada, I think for women is like 80 something. I'll insert it here, but like, so by that logic, like 1/3 of my life is over. And I spiral really hard thinking about that, because I'm like, well, what do I have to show for it? And I know everyone always tells me like, you have plenty to show for it. You've done, like, first of all, you're busy doing things like learning how to like not shit your pants and walk and, you know, do fucking algebra and go to university and then get a job, and like, you know, like you're learning how to be a person. So it's not like those years were wasted, but it's like, again, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. But in my head, I'm like, okay, so the prime of your life, when you're like supposed to be like the most mentally clear-minded and strong and like physically strong, like all those years you wasted, and now you're like, you're just progressively going to degrade as a person. So you've already wasted your best years, and so now you have your worst years, and you can't even use those well because you're so stuck in your head freaking out about how you're aging. I think part of it too is I feel like your perception of time changes the older you get, right? Like when you're 15, 5 years is 1/3 of your life, whereas when you're 25, it's like, what, 1/5 of your life? It's a much smaller fraction. And like the longer you live, the more that is. So like each year becomes so much faster almost, because your perception changes, right? And so I feel like I blink and years have gone by. Like I realized that it had been 8 years since I finished high school. And that, like, I don't want to be like dramatic, like I really don't want to be dramatic, but it like scared me, you know? Because like, I don't feel that different. I don't feel like I still feel like that lost teenager. I'm trying really hard not to cry, I'm sorry. I don't know, it fucks with me. It fucks with my head. Like, I just blinked and suddenly 8 years have passed. You know, like the job I'm in now, I love it. I don't want to leave it. And I would never leave it, probably, unless I got something really good. But I love the people I work with. But the job I have now, I was never even planning on getting a job. Like I finished university and I was gonna go back to school. I wasn't even gonna apply for internships. I was just gonna have a summer off and then go to school and like get a master's in something. Because I've always liked academia. Like I've always like excelled in academic settings or in settings where you're being graded on things. And so I was always planning to go back to school. And the only reason I applied for the job I have is it was an internship. It was a paid internship, and I like loved the publication. Like it was one that I was already familiar with and read and like liked the work that everyone did there. And so it was really the only thing I really applied for. It was the only thing on my radar. And it was like a fluke thing where I was like, I didn't even think I was gonna get it. I was like, I'm just gonna apply for this because it's also in Toronto where I live already, and I can make some money and get some experience, and I liked this publication. And I got the internship, and then it turned into a job that was like a year contract, and then I became full-time, and now it's like, here I am, like 3 years later, almost 4 years later. I think in May it's gonna be 4 years. And like, that really, really fucks with me. I don't know, it's because I feel like putting that into perspective, like 8 years of my life since high school, you would think I would feel like a person who has it more together. And I know people tell me I have it more together. Like I know I have friends who say they've seen like improvements in me, but I don't feel that way. And I'm always like, well, do you ever feel that way? Like, is this just what life is? Is life always constantly feeling like you're like about to drown? And that freaks me out. Like, is that really all it is? Like, are we literally just like slogging along, feeling like we're gonna drown? And like, is every week just like a slog to the weekend that goes by in a blink, and then you're back to slogging through it? It's like, I don't know. Do you ever get to a point in being an adult where you feel like you have it together? Because I don't feel that way. I still feel like a teenager. I don't feel like a real adult, but it's like, and I know people are always talking about how like millennials or Gen Z or whatever never want to grow up or like stuck in their youth or whatever, but it's like, I don't want to be. You think I want to feel like I'm incapable? But it's like, I don't feel like I don't know, when do you ever get that like sensation of like, I'm not like an adult in training, like I'm a real adult now, like, and I have to have it together. It's like, these are my peak years, or my peak years are even behind me, and I didn't peak there. Like I don't feel like I did. I don't feel like I ever had it together, or I was ever like the girl, you know, who had it together. And it's like, if I don't have it now, am I ever gonna get it together? And then it's like the whole other, so like, that's fucked. Like, is everything just a slog from 1 week to the next week? Also, I can't sing, sorry, like in advance, like I really can't sing, but that doesn't stop me. I'm just afraid that all life is slogging through moments that feel terrible for like
really fleeting moments where you feel okay or you feel happy, but all the in-between sucks. I feel like I've always had this weird existential crisis about it. Like I've only like asked my parents about it and stuff, and like my parents are very hard, like believers in like life is hard and life does suck, and that's just part of it, and you just have to deal with it. And while they're probably right, it's not reassuring, and I don't think that helped with me not wanting to constantly be like, okay, well, what the fuck is the point then, you know? I don't know, someone just like exit like having higher cognition was a mistake, you know? Like I don't think, maybe they do, I don't know, I've never talked to a bear, but like I don't think bears sit around and like think about how they're gonna die. I think orcas do, because I know orcas definitely understand grief in a higher way than like most other animals, you know, like they carry their young when they've died and they like mourn and stuff. But so like they probably, you know, have existential crises. I know if I was like in a cage at SeaWorld, I would definitely contemplate mortality all the time. But like I don't think bears do. Bears just like, you know, all they know is like eat berry, eat salmon, get fat, sleep, have children, protect children, you know? That's all they like operate on, and I wish that was me, you know? It's like my brain moves too fast. It's always worrying. It's always like, it's like, I just need to like slow it down, and it won't slow down. It just sucks. It sucks. Like I don't want to sit around wondering like, what is the meaning of life? I would like to just live it, you know? I don't want to sit around and like contemplate like the exact moment that I'm gonna die. Like I worked myself into a panic attack the other night, because I was like, again, thinking about how I'm turning 26, and how 26 is so close to 30, which is like, you know, so close to my death. Because again, the other thing too is, no offense to my mother, but because she has always like imparted on me that I'm like super unhealthy and like my lifestyle is like problematic and going to hurt me or whatever, I've always like felt this weird paranoia that I'm like about to die. Or even if I don't, even if I like live life, I'm gonna have a shorter lifespan than average. Like lifespans for humans are like constantly getting longer, right? I think for a woman in Canada, it's probably like 80 something. Again, I'll insert that if I didn't already earlier. But I always have in my head that for me, it's gonna be lower. Like I'm always like, I can't even see myself hitting 70, you know? I'm always like, if I get to 60, good job. Which again, like really shortens your lifespan if you're thinking about it in those ways. And I'm just like so afraid that I'm gonna like, the way I blinked and I was 15, and then I blinked and I was 25, and I'm sure I'm gonna blink again and be 30, and then I'm gonna blink and be 50, and then I'm gonna blink and hopefully be 75, but probably dead. I don't want to blink and have my life have been over, and it's just gonna be this like endless slog of like feeling shitty and feeling stressed and feeling anxious about the future and never having like lived in the moment. I don't know how to live in the moment. Like I'm talking to my therapist about this, and I just don't know how to do it. Like it's like I feel like something's fundamentally just like wrong with me, you know? Like I'm just fundamentally like broken and malfunctioning in a way that like makes it really hard for me to not stress out about these things that humans can never answer, you know? Like no one's ever gonna give me the perfect answer to what the meaning of life is. No one's gonna sit me down and like tell me something about like death that's gonna reassure me. Like my parents try, bless them. They've tried to tell me that, you know, you don't have to worry about what happens when you die, because death is not the end. Like they were both religious, you know, they're more Muslim than I am. I'm like very loosely Muslim, they're like very believing Muslim, and they have always tried to tell me like, you know, like you don't have to worry about what happens when you die because there's an afterlife. It's just like, it's transitioning like from one plane to the next. And like that is enough for them, but it's like I would love for that to be enough for me. But in my head I'm constantly like, okay, well, how do I know that though? Like there's no proof. No one's ever been back to be like, this is what happens. We have no evidence. We can't reach that plane. And it's like, yeah, that's like inherently part of it. And like scientifically, there's no like explanation that like posits that there is something after that. And like, I don't know, I just, again, the concept of like you live and you live and you live and you struggle and you struggle and you struggle and there's nothing. It's just what it just ends, you know? Like you're just like, it's like you're just a spark and you get snuffed out and it's like you disappear, you know? That really freaks me out. There's been billions of people that have existed on the earth before me and before everyone who's on it now, right? How many of those people do people still remember? Like hardly any. And it just doesn't even matter. Like I'm not gonna be around to know that no one remembers me, and I'm not even gonna be like conscious of the fact that I'm going or that I'm gone. Like once you're gone, right? If there is nothing after. But just like I think about like just that last moment, like if I'm awake and aware of it, that last moment I'm gonna be like, and it makes me panic. Like I'm just gonna know, you know, that it's the end and that like there's no take backs. There's no, this is it. And I'm like, okay, well it's my birthday. Why am I freaked out about this, you know? But it's like I can't not think about it. It's like what happens, you know? Like what is the point? Like I don't know. It's like a weird, I guess, like grandiosity to think that I'm in any way important to the universe, you know? Like who cares that you get snuffed out and you don't exist anymore? You're just like lucky you existed at all. I want there to be more to it than that. You know, it's really hard for me to like accept that I'm just gonna die one day, and it's like that's it. Like you have the one, like the life is the longest thing you're ever gonna do, but it's also super, super, super short, you know? Like I can't be like, well, life is short, live it to the fullest, because it's like, well, it is the longest thing I'm ever gonna do in my life, but it also is like, again, I blink and 5 years are gone, I blink, a decade is gone, and it's like, and that's just gonna get faster and faster and faster, and like before I know it, I'm gonna be on that precipice and I'm gonna be about to pass, and well, I have to make up for it or to show for it. And why does it even matter? Like, does it matter if I have nothing to show for it? It matters to me, but also like, why should it matter to me? Because it's not like I can have any of that stuff, because once I'm dead, I'm dead. Like, to our understanding, you're just cognitively gone. Like, everything that makes Sima Sima is like just gonna cease to exist in the universe. Like, I was never here at all. And that sucks. Like, I don't know how people don't lose their shit constantly thinking about this. Like, really, I really don't. I don't know. And like, literally, like, I get this weird fluttery, like panicked feeling like right here in my chest when I think about just like, I don't know, I picture myself like being old, like really old, and like in a hospital bed or something, and like about to pass on, and just knowing that like the moment is coming. And it's like, how do you do that gracefully, you know? Like, how do you accept that? It's like the most basic human instinct is to want to survive. And so like, knowing that you're approaching that point, like, I don't understand how people are so blasé about it. Like, I have so many friends who are like, I'm not afraid to die, like, I fucking could die now, it'd be fine. And I'm like, no, man. Like, I literally was actively Googling like, how close are we to biological immortality, like the other day, and I was reading articles about it because I was like, I wanted to, like, I don't know, reassure myself somehow that maybe there's a way out of it, or a way to delay it. And it's like, girl, get it fucking together. And then the other thing that I think about that really freaks me out is like, what if I don't even know it's coming, you know? And then I can't even like, and like, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna be gone. So it's like, the fact that I didn't accept it won't even matter, because it's like, on the other side, there's nothing on the other side for me to regret about how I handle it. But I think about, like, if it's all of a sudden I have no ability to like put, like, you know, close the book or just accept it, or, you know, say goodbyes. It's just like, I don't know, it freaks me out so bad. And so that's why my birthdays make me spiral. My birthdays make me spiral because it's like one more check on the list of years I have before I'm on my last year, and I don't even know what the last year is gonna be. They say the dreaming is free. I wouldn't care what it cost me. So kind of tying this all back to the reason I made this video, which is what I wanted to talk about and kind of commemorate the fact that I didn't kill myself before I turned 26. So this all sounds really counterintuitive. It's like, bitch, if you don't want to die, and if you're so afraid of dying, like, why would you mentally make that weird pact with yourself that you want to die before you turn 26? And so the thing is, because quote unquote death is allegedly inevitable, I was always, you know, telling myself that like, well, okay, if it's inevitable, at least if I do it myself, I have some semblance of control over it. So I can figure out what happens before, and then like end everything on the perfect like ending. Which is stupid. First of all, that's not how anything works. Second of all, you can never plan your life that meticulously to have like a perfect like fairy tale bow ending. Second of all, like, again, like, if anyone is, do not kill yourself. You won't even, if you succeed, you will not be around to regret it. But if you don't, you will regret all your choices. And B, more importantly, it fucking sucks. Like, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for the people around you. Like, yes, life gets better, and there's so many things to live for. And like, every day I discover new things that I like, you know, that I like feel better about, and that I'm becoming a better person for. And like, I could never have like discovered those things if I had actually like, you know, at 23. And yeah, it fucking ruin your friends' lives, it ruin your family's lives. You know how like shitty that would be? So like, don't do it. But in my head, I was always like, okay, well, it'll be this perfect bookend. I will be like the perfect flawless 24-year-old, and then I die. And so I can't ruin things after that, you know? It's like, sure, her life was short, but it was like meaningful and impactful and beautiful and like well executed, and everyone will be in awe of what a perfect life she lived. And I think part of it too is I'm so afraid of aging. Like, you know, like the whole immortality thing. I would never want to be like an immortal. And sorry, I'm probably gonna veer into like ageism a little bit here, and it's just because I feel like I was not super around my grandparents a lot because they were in Iran and I was here, so I was never really around like old people for like most of my life. And so whenever I was around them, I was very awkward about it, and I was always really worried about how they were like about to die. And so in my head, I've always associated like aging with just being really like frail and incapable and like constantly about to die. And so I'm always like, what good does it do if I'm like mentally getting better, but my body is getting worse? And so like by the time I feel like mentally I have my shit together, my body is not gonna do any of the things I want to do. And it's like, I don't want to be frail. I don't want to be incapable of taking care of myself. I don't want to like, I already feel like I struggle with independence, and I would like hate so much to have even a little bit of independence that I have managed to like grasp for myself to be taken away from me because like my body just can't fucking function. And so aging freaks me out more than that. So it's like, I'd rather die fully in control and like quote unquote the best I'll ever be than, you know, it's like, I feel like my brain almost like turns it into like a TV show, you know, like, you know, people are always like, I'd rather a show be like 2 seasons long, but like 2 really good seasons and end on a high note than go on for like 8 seasons and it's like you're dragging the dead corpse of what the show used to be behind you. It's like my brain interprets life like that, where I'm like, I'd rather go out with a bang on the best I'll ever be than you know, drag it out and drag it out and drag it out until like my body literally can't handle it anymore and then it dies. But it's like, that's not how life works. And it's also like, I don't feel like I'm the best I've ever been. I don't know if I strongly doubt like most people are like the best they'll ever be at 23. Like having been 23, like it's a fucking nightmare year, you know, or 24 or 25, you know. It's weird because like, and this, so much of this is normal. Like obviously for a 15-year-old, a 28-year-old is old. But when you're 28, you still feel young. But I'm always like, am I just delusional? Like how long am I gonna be like, well, 25 is still young, 30 is still young, 40 is still young, before it's like, no bitch, you're old. You know, you're old and you gotta accept that you're old and that you're not young and that you, again, you're over the peak. And it's, I feel like I blink and I'm gonna be middle-aged. And it's like, you know, what did you do with your youth? Nothing. It's crazy. I'm just going in circles. I'm really sorry. So anyways, 26 by Paramore. Really, it captures something about having to be slapped in the face with reality. That reality will break your heart. And survival isn't the hardest part. The hardest part is not sinking into like depression and letting go of hope and you know, letting go of your dreams. And that, you know, you're worth whatever you thought you were when you were 13, 14, you know? You're not, even if like being an adult isn't everything you expected or you thought it was, it's like, so it's really hard. It's really hard to really accept that like, there's no year that you're gonna finally feel like you have it together. There's no year that you're gonna feel like you're an adult who's a real adult. Life is really hard, and that's really hard to grasp. And I feel like with every birthday, I'm like, okay, what the fuck? And it's like, I don't know, I can try to be optimistic, but it just feels so ingenuine to myself. I don't know, there's some people that are like just effortlessly optimistic and positive and like living in the moment, and I don't know what juice they're drinking, but I would like some so badly. Please, like please, 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 if you have juice that makes your brain not constantly like have an existential crisis that makes you want to like drown yourself in bleach, please tell me what your secrets are. Like, how do you not do this? How do you not constantly spiral like this? I would love to know. To keep your feet on the ground, man, you really brought me back down. Hold on to hope. So let's talk about my actual birthday. So my birthday kind of happened in stages because like, as we know, I started my new food plan, so I couldn't have cake today. So in advance of my birthday, people brought me, my roommate Iris made me cupcakes. They were lemon flavored and super, super delicious. I will insert a photo of them. They were very good. And we celebrated my birthday with my roommate Chelsea's, whose birthday's about a week before mine, something like that. She got matcha cupcakes. So we kind of did that together. And then my mom and my brother came over and they brought me homemade cake, which that was really nice because my mom, when I was a child, like before my brother was born, she would always make my cakes. And I don't actually know if they were like fully like all from scratch or it was like box cake that she just like would decorate or whatever, but she would bake her own cakes for me. And that, like as a child, obviously I didn't get it, but like as an adult, when like not as an adult, as a teenager, I remember really being like touched when I would see like home videos of like birthdays from when I was like 5 or 6 or 7 years old with like these cute cakes that my mom so like lovingly and like meticulously decorated for me. And so like having one of those again was really nice. Sorry, I'm like so fucking emotional. I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to be, but it's like everything is making me want to cry. And again, it's like, I love that little girl. And I just hate that so much of when I was little. There's like a definitely pre and post period in my life of like when I was really, really little. She was so full of life and she had no cares and no worries and she was so happy. And then stuff happened and I spent so much of like the rest of my childhood like stressed and anxious and freaked out and hating myself and hating everything around me and just hating my situation and just not having a good time. And I hate that. I hate that I spent so long feeling that way and that, you know, like it feels like I wasted so much of my childhood and I'm never gonna get any of that back. And it's like, yeah, I can't go back. I can't go back and be a child again, but I wish like so badly that I could, I don't know. And I can't go back. I can't make things better for that little girl. I can't tell her to like have appreciated her youth more or like done more things with it or like been in less of a pit of self-loathing. And I'm trying now to tell myself that like that wasn't like a failure of that little girl. She was doing her best, you know? But it's so hard not to be stuck on it. It's just frustrating. So anyways, sorry, I made it sad again. I was trying to tell you guys about the nice thing that happened for my birthday. So yeah, my mom brought me cake. And that was really nice and really sweet. It was like chocolate cake with like cream, like white cream frosting and like strawberries on top. It was really nice. We had some with my brother. I don't see them very much because of COVID. Like we're technically all in the same bubble and so, like, they don't see anyone else and I don't go anywhere besides like hanging out with my roommates. So it's really 2 extra people in our bubble and so like keeps us like under the 10 or whatever it's supposed to be. And we like hung out masked, like all my hugs and stuff were masked. I just like, we took our mask off really quickly to eat, but we still like stayed 6 feet apart. But it was just nice to see them. And I got like, my mom gave me money, my dad gave me money, my brother being a little shit did not give me anything for my birthday, even though like he's well past the age where he can and should be getting me a birthday present. Alisina, if you're watching this. Oh, and then at work. So work like is very over the top with birthdays. Like last year they got me a mountain of churros, which was very nice. And so this year, obviously because everyone's at home, they haven't been able to do the same thing. So they ambushed like a work Google Hangout that I had, and they all sang happy birthday to me, which was very fun. And they all changed their backgrounds to like either photos of Luna or photos of me on Halloween, because I have such epic costumes, if I do say so myself. So that was really fun. It was really nice. I like all the people I work with. So that like my birthday every year, one of the highlights is, since I've been working there anyways, is definitely like what they're gonna do at work. And then my manager sent me popcorn. She sent me Cineplex, which was like a bag of M&Ms, a giant bag of popcorn, and then 2 Coke Zeros. The sad part is I was on my new food plan, so I couldn't eat any of that. So I had the Coke Zeros, and I hid the M&Ms somewhere for when I've done all this. I can slowly peck at them. And then I just gave the popcorn to my, I had like half a cup just to like try it, and then I gave the rest of the bag to everyone upstairs and was like, eat this out of my sight. So that sucked, but it was like, it was okay. I didn't feel bad about missing out on the popcorn. It was more like, it was just a thought that was really sweet, because again, it's just like a tradition every year now. And then obviously I ordered myself cake. I got myself a slice of red velvet cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory, and I had that the day before I started my meal plan. And I will insert video footage of myself eating that here. Hello, future me. It is me on January 12/42 on January 20th. So it was technically January 19th, but I guess it's January 20th now. This is the last day before I start my new meal plan. So we are having our birthday cake a couple days early. Look at that, 26. Figured I would record the blowing out of the candles and a couple bites for you guys. This is definitely a fire hazard, and I don't trust these candles. They are from the dollar store. Pandemic, obviously, so just got myself a slice of cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory. This is a red velvet cheesecake. Very excited, I love red velvet. I'm gonna blow this out, I guess. You guys saw the candles, right? 26, what an age, does not feel real. Oh god, there's wax going everywhere. Time to make a wish, time to make a wish. I'm gonna leave that for a bit so that some of this wax solidifies before I move it. And then I'll take a couple bites. This is weird. This is such a weird birthday. It was already gonna be a weird birthday for reasons that you presumably have or will understand in the video that you are watching that I've not made yet, but I think the pandemic just obviously made it so much weirder. Yeah, I'm not letting any of that frosting go, even with the wax, it's a biohazard. I think I successfully picked off all the wax residue. All right, let's take a bite. Whipped cream on there. Really good, really good. I'm gonna enjoy eating this while I edit. Happy birthday to me. Shout out to me for making another successful revolution around the sun, I guess. Lord, if you exist, if you're out there, if you have any control over any of this, please let 26 go a little slower than 25. 25 was just such a weird year. Like, yeah, I got a birthday in 2020 that I actually got to celebrate with my friends because it's January, before all the pandemic stuff really hit the fan, but the rest of the year is just like blur, gone. What can you do, right? Here's to 26. I'm probably gonna cut back to the video now. So yeah, I had that, it was very good, it was really tasty. I love red velvet cake, so combining that with cheesecake was a, you know, very big brain idea. What I've noticed about the Cheesecake Factory, and I don't know if Americans who actually have this as more than one restaurant in their whole country can agree or disagree, but like their food actually kind of sucks. Like really the cheesecake's the only good part. Like I'm perfectly willing to pay $12 for a slice of their cheesecake, but like their food is like terrible. I've never felt satisfied by their food. I felt satisfied by a couple of their appetizers, but their actual like entrees suck. I don't know if I'm just, and I always like look up lists, like what is the best thing to eat at the Cheesecake Factory? Because I figure like Americans who go here a lot probably know, but no, food always sucks. But my cake was so good. And my friend Gia, who is a lovely internet friend that I met last year, she made me this beautiful gift set on Tumblr that's like a bunch of my favorite bands, and it's like purple and green colored, which are my favorite colors. And it was just like, that was so beautiful and lovely. And she's like a gift making witch, like wizard, but like witch, you know, because she's a badass too. And it was just really cool. You know, no one's ever done anything like that for me before, so that was really exciting. I love that. I'm gonna like stare at it forever. She's actually on YouTube. She makes really amazing covers. I will link her down below. You should check her out. She's like the sweetest person ever. Like I swear on my life, she's one of the most supportive people I've ever met in my life. Like I loved you, and I had like a fraction of her like self-confidence and self-love and like supportive energy towards others too. I feel like I would like rule the world. Like truly need to get like an ounce of that energy in my life. Like, Gia, what is your secret? So that was really awesome. After all, wasn't I the one who said to keep your feet on the ground? Man, you really bring me back down. The other thing is I got these presents, or it's one present and a card from my friend Becca. So I'll open those in a bit before I finish the video, because I want to end the video on a not crying, not depressing, not existential crisis mode. So we're gonna end on that note. Just something about being a real adult with real responsibilities and feeling like that, like you're officially like way past the age of being able to be like, I'm just a kid, I don't know any better. You have to take all that on, and like you don't feel like you're in any way ready for that, you know? Like, I don't know, is there ever a point in adulthood where you do feel like you have it together and you do know what you're doing? Because it's like, I feel like I'm always like low-key panicking that I have no idea what I'm doing, and like something's wrong with me. Like something is just like fundamentally like broken and wrong with me, because I'm always like spiraling about this stuff that no one else is spiraling about, and I never feel like I'm okay. And everyone else, I know everyone else seems like they have it together, but they don't actually. But it's like, there's a part of my brain that's like, no, they do at least have it more together than you do. Like even if they're not like as together as like they seem, they're still way more together than you. And it's like, I don't know, how do you stop having those thoughts? It's just like, it makes me nauseous, and it's like, it just like really like hammers at home that I feel like something is wrong with me and that I'm never going to be okay. And my brain is always gonna be racing a mile a minute and making me freak out about stuff. And again, like I feel like I'm gonna blink and I'm gonna be on my deathbed. And it's like so not normal. It makes me so nauseous. It makes me so panicky, and like, I don't want to die, you guys. And like, you shouldn't be thinking about how you're gonna, like your death is impending on your birthday, but it's like, I don't know how to not be like that. Like, I don't know how to be like, again, like 26, 30, 50, dead. It's really hard not to do that. I don't know why. Also, I put this makeup on hours ago. Usually I put on makeup like right before I film my videos. I have had this on for a couple hours. It's probably kind of crusty now, but I actually, you know, I like it. Not even just the sparkles, but I really liquid with the eyes, like the blue and the pink. I don't know, I think it's fun. You know what else is really funny? The song 1985 by Bowling for Soup came on the other day, and that sent me into the worst spiral. Like, can you believe that song? It's like a fun song. Everyone loves that song. Everyone makes fun of that song in like an affectionate way. Like, it's like a silly song. But it gave me the worst anxiety, because I was like, oh my god, I am, if I'm not already, going to become that person who's like stuck in the past. And like, it's already kind of what I am with like my 2007 emo bands, right? Like I am that woman who's a mother and still listening to like the teenage stuff she likes. But like, that song gave me like literal anxiety. I was like, I'm gonna become that like woman who had all these dreams and aspirations, and it's just like a housewife now who didn't meet any of her potential. Because I don't even think I'm gonna become a housewife, because I can't even like fathom a person wanting to marry me. So it's just like, my stupid brain, TLDR, will not allow me to enjoy the fact that I'm 26. But I am comforted by the fact that this song, and the reason I listen to it, is this song is proof that people do feel really shitty when they're 26, and that it's really fucking hard. And I'm not as alone as I feel. I'm not alone in this. So shout out to Paramore and Hayley Williams especially for this song, because it really, I don't know, it made 26 feel less like a year I had to dread, and yet less like it was like, A, I was betraying part of myself for making it to 26, and B, that I was like, I don't know, that it was normal to have extremely mixed feelings about this age. And it just, I don't know, I think just the themes of really holding on to hope, holding on to your dreams, and like, no matter what, not letting go of your dreams, even though reality will break your heart. It's just like, I don't know, it's meaningful to me, okay? Really know how to get someone down. Thing was fine until you came around. I'm tired of making this video depressing. I'm really sorry. Next week's video is hopefully gonna be a fun one. I think it's gonna be a Queer Eye update, so it's gonna be a good time. This is open January 23rd, and it has a very beautiful wax seal of what I believe is a kitten in some kind of frame, so I'm gonna open that. Becca is the best at gift giving. I've never met a person that cares more about giving gifts to people. Like, this card is so beautiful. I can't even get this wax seal open because I'm trying so hard not to damage it. Oh, I didn't want to rip the envelope, but I did. But like, look how pretty this seal is. I don't think you guys can see that. Happy birthday. Look how pretty this dress is. Holy shit, I would wear this dress. Like, unironically, if I thought I would look good in it, which I don't currently, but if I ever felt like I would look good in this, I would wear the shit out of this dress. I want my wedding dress to look like this. It says happy birthday, celebrate, or just celebrate in style. The rest is all written by Becca, so I'm gonna read that. I'm not gonna read that out loud because cards are personal. It's so sweet. Becca, I love you, and I love you, and hopefully we're gonna get vaccinated soon and we can see each other at some point before 2022, ideally, but yeah, I love you, dude. Thank you so much. Present time. I've had this because Becca delivered me my birthday, my Christmas, and my Halloween presents all at once in what I feel was like January of 2020, so like almost a full year ago. WWF. Oh my god. Did she get me an orca? If she adopted an orca for me, I will lose my goddamn. Oh, she so did. Oh my god, she so did. What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, please look at her. Oh my god, she's so soft. Reality will break my heart, Hayley Williams, but then your friends do really nice things for you, and you're like, survival won't be the hardest part, But you will keep your hopes alive because you have fucking awesome baller friends who do things like this for you. I can't wait to read this and like already know everything it's gonna tell me about orcas because I'm a freak who's obsessed with them. Oops! There's a certificate of adoption. An orca has been symbolically adopted on behalf of Sima Shakeri as a gift from Rebecca Hardiman. Yeah, I'm literally gonna know everything it's supposed to tell me. Oh my god. Thank you for helping species at risk. Bro, you don't, WWF, you don't need to preach to the choir. I fucking know about our oceans. Are you kidding? Look at this. Ah! Oh my god, I want to put this up somewhere. Orca, name. The orca's scientific name is Orcanus orca. The species is commonly referred to as the killer whale. Habitat. Unlike many other marine species, the orca's habitat is not limited by factors such as water depth, salinity, or temperature. It is able to swim in waters as shallow as a few meters or as deep as the ocean. Yeah, because they're bad fucking bitches is what they are. Diet. Different orca populations display varying dietary preferences. Resident orcas depend heavily on salmon, whereas transient orcas feed primarily on other marine mammals, including seals, sea lions, dolphins, porpoises, and even other whales. Recent studies have found that the offshore orcas regularly eat sharks. Yes, they fucking do. Orcas can take down great whites because they are the fucking baddest bitches, I'm telling you. The southern resident killer whales in British Columbia are severely endangered, and I strongly encourage everybody to look into that situation and try to do their part in helping save those animals because they are so cool, and every orca population is like unique. So if we lose that one, it's not like we can just like import orcas from a different part of the world and like let them loose there and somehow that'll like fix the problem. They're like a very unique species to that area, and there's like 70 of them left, so seriously. Do your part. Fucking save the orcas. I'm gonna come for you. Fun fact, in the Great Bear Sea off the British Columbia coast, orcas have been observed lunging up on rocks well out of the water to capture sea lions and elephant seals. Yeah, because they're bad fucking bitches. Living in tight family groups, also known as pods, orcas average between 7 and 8 meters in length and weigh up to 6 tons. The size of a pod can range anywhere between 2 whales to 30 or more. Orcas can be found in all of Canada's oceans, including coastal seas and inlets, and are even occasionally spotted in fresh water at the mouth of rivers. Sadly, many orca populations in Canada are considered at risk. There is an urgent need for action to protect these majestic mammals. With your symbolic adoption, you're helping WWF work to ensure the long-term health of the ecosystems orcas depend on to flourish. You're helping to provide a healthier natural world for us all. Did you know the orca is known to hunt its prey in packs similar to wolves? While hunting, orcas will use audible clicks and whistles to communicate with one another, coordinating their efforts in order to surround schools of salmon and even overtake larger whales. Yes, I did know all of this because again, I'm a freak who spent such a large part of my childhood reading about these animals because I'm like obsessed with them. Some stuff about how they're gonna help and why the oceans are under threat. Well, look at all the other animals you can adopt. You can get a tiger, a hippo, a gray wolf, a white-handed gibbon, an Asian turtle, bald eagle, an emperor penguin, a Kermode bear. I don't even know what kind of bear that is. I can't say I've ever heard of that, not gonna lie. Sea turtles, Arctic hares, blue sharks, river otters, orangutans, Arctic foxes, red pandas, giraffes, hedgehogs, koalas, caribou, lioness, beaver, polar bear, snow leopard, grizzly bear, African elephant, orca, rhino, and giant panda. Becca, thank you for adopting an orca for me. I'm so happy. This is my new best friend. Oh my god. What should I name him, guys? I need to name him something. Name her. I think she's a her. I know I named the orca I caught from Build-A-Bear Kiska because I believe she is the last remaining captive orca in Canada. She's alone at Marineland, which breaks my heart. I like to name them after ones that are in captivity because it reminds me that there's so much work left to do for orcas. Maybe I'll name her Orchid because orchids, I think she's at SeaWorld San Diego, and I believe she was the first orca born in captivity who like survived to adulthood. I think she's like 30 something now. She's like 32 or something like that. She's the longest living like orca to have ever been born in captivity. So this will be a good reminder of her plight and the plight of all the other orcas that are in captivity, and also the orcas out in the waters that need help too. Thank you, Becca. Sorry, I know this is like a weird video. Most of my videos I make for me, but also for you guys. This one was purely for me. Like my birthday plans literally were listen to 26 and have an existential crisis. And then I was like, might as well film my existential crisis. And maybe if I talk it out loud instead of just having it in my head, I'll connect some kind of dot, or someone else who also feel like this can, I don't know, come talk to me about it. So I feel like less of a freak. I can't wait to see Paramore again live, man. Last time I was when I saw them on the After Laughter tour, I fucking cried. And Hayley cried. We were all crying. It was just like very cathartic, and I miss that. I miss shows. So hopefully this is all gonna be over. You know, the whole blink and time is gone thing. Hopefully that works my favor this time out, and I blink and I will be at another Paramore show. So yeah. Anyways, I think I'm gonna stop listening to this song and say goodbye to y'all. Sorry this isn't like my typical videos. I'm sorry if it was depressing. We're gonna be back on our regular scheduled makeup and queer eyeing
starting next week. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button down below. If you want to see me again next week, you can subscribe to this channel. I post videos every Wednesday. And if you wanted to follow me on other platforms, you can follow me on Twitter, where I'm significantly funnier, and Instagram, where I post a lot of selfies. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys all next week. Bye!